hoping he had another, more personal reason to be there tonight as well, especially as he had promised her a dance, which was unusual. But it was the perfect setting for what she hoped he had planned. Her heart filled with expectation, but all that would have to wait. She went across to where a middle-aged man had clambered across the ropes and was now swaying as he hung onto the leg of the large stegosaurus skeleton. "Hi," she said to him. "How about we get you a nice glass of water?" The man blinked at her before breaking into a leering, lopsided smile. He slowly ran his eyes up and down her long black dress before settling on her face. "Hello, beautiful." His words were slurred. "Redheads are my favourite." "How lucky for me," said Lily between clenched teeth. "Shall we?" She held out her hand to encourage him away from the priceless prehistoric exhibit. "Anything for you, sweetheart," he replied. But unfortunately he used their hands connecting to pull her in towards him and press his body up against hers. Lily felt a flare of anger at his disgusting behaviour. She was just about to knee him in the groin and follow it with a karate chop to his neck when she remembered where she was, and who she was these days. She was wild Lily Harper no more. These days she had to be responsible and practical, regardless of the man's vile actions. She had to be professional. She had grabbed the drunken man and manoeuvred him across the rope barricade until he was finally on the right side and the stegosaurus was safe. She pushed him down into a chair and went over to Mary, who was standing nearby. "If he goes near any of the dinosaurs again, you have my permission to beat him over the head with a large fossil," she whispered. Mary grimaced. "Do I have to? He looks like he'd probably enjoy it." "You can handle him," Lily told her. "Now, about the party bags. There were some spare ones lined up outside in the courtyard. I'll go and grab some." Lily looked around the room again for Mark, but couldn't see him. Perhaps he was in the gents, trying out his speech. She wondered what he would say. Would he go down on one knee, even in the middle of the dance floor? She secretly hoped so. That was how she'd always wanted it to be done, and now the time was finally near. A small frown creased her forehead. In fact, the time was actually a little overdue according to her life plan. She'd wanted to get engaged on her birthday, but Mark had given her a lovely necklace instead of a ring. He knew about her plans to be engaged by the time she was 30, so he only had until her next birthday to propose. But she could forgive him for the short delay, as it was such a glorious setting that summer evening and would make an amazing story to tell their children. Perhaps they'd come back to the Natural History Museum when the kids were old enough to understand. And that's where Daddy proposed to Mummy, right by that dinosaur. Lily smiled expectantly at her reflection in the hallway mirror. She tucked a stray lock of red hair behind her ear, but her ponytail and simple makeup had remained in place. Her green eyes were framed with just a lick of dark mascara, her lips painted with a natural matte colour. Nice and neat, nothing too outlandish. She allowed herself a satisfied nod as she carried on past the mirror and downstairs to the cloakroom. Her relationship with Mark might have been going well, but the recent loss of her job had been a massive disappointment. Even now the panic was simmering inside her. She didn't like surprises or anything unexpected occurring in her life. She hadn't done ever since the car accident that had knocked her whole world off its axis when she was 16 years old. These days, her life was mapped out so that there could be no room for hurt or pain. To be in total control was a good thing. It protected her from the very worst that life could offer. She was safe from hurt and would continue to be so as long as everything went to plan each and every day. She stepped outside into the spacious Darwin Centre courtyard and took a moment to enjoy the night air. It was a perfect summer's evening with a full moon shining down from the night sky above. Not that you got to see too many stars in the centre of London. She felt a brief pang of longing for her home village of Cranley, where the sky was endless and full of stars, with not a skyscraper blocking the view. She didn't know why she was feeling so unsettled and homesick at the moment. It had to be about losing her job, she supposed. But she had left her home village many years ago to take the burden of having to support her away from her parents. After all, she'd hurt too many people back then. The ripples of pain were still being felt to that day by her family. She focused back on the job in hand and spotted the spare part.